Hello, everyone. My name is Georgia Goody. I am the Assistant Director of Admission here at University of Western States. Today, we are going to be talking about our Doctorate of Clinical Nutrition, our DCN degree. We're excited to have you here, excited to have you join us. If you're looking for information about our master's degree or our graduate certificate, you can find those in another webinar. But today, we're going to spend 15 to 20 minutes chatting about our DCN. Let's get started. All right, so our DCN degree is a degree that is housed under our Human Nutrition and Functional Medicine program. As I mentioned, we also have a master's degree, we have a graduate certificate, and we have this doctorate of clinical nutrition. That's the one we'll be talking about today. Here's a little sneak peek at what our webinar will look like today. We'll spend time doing an overview of the program. We'll also talk about our program directors before we move on to a little bit about how you'll learn online, our curriculum, our entry requirements, and then we'll wrap it up with some application tips and a little bit about financial aid. A little background about UWS. We have been around for a while. We got started in 1904. We are the second oldest chiropractic college in the world, but we've expanded since we got started. As you can see, we've had lots of milestones, but in 2021, we added the DCN, and in 2022, we opened it to international students. So if you had chatted with us about the DCN before and you're an international student and we told you, sorry, can't take you on campus, we have modified that curriculum now, and you will see that now you are able to apply and able to be admitted as soon as fall 2023. A little bit about our directors. One of our co-directors is Dr. Daniel Redwood. He has practiced chiropractic for over 25 years before coming to teach with us at UWS. He oversees our Human Nutrition and Functional Medicine Master's program. So you won't chat with him as often, but you may hear from him. He's helped to write some textbooks. He's lectured around the country, and he also helps us here at UWS with the help of Dr. Chris Brown. So Dr. Chris Brown is the director that oversees our DCN more closely. He also helps us by teaching here at UWS. He's also a graduate of UWS. So he has that master's in human nutrition and functional medicine that some of you might have. He was among our first graduates and helps to teach the capstone course still for that program, but oversees the DCN as the program director. So why look into our DCN and why look into having a DCN? Well, this is going to be deeper knowledge than your master's degree. We want it to be doctoral level knowledge, and we want to give you skills to work with people who maybe have complex or challenging situations in order to help them feel better. We will do that partially through having functional medicine principles throughout each course. If you took our master's degree, you were able to see that in that program as well. This will be true for the DCN. We require familiarity, as a matter of fact, with functional medicine before folks get started, so we're all starting on the same foot. We also require a master's in nutrition, which we'll talk about later as well. And then this will have an emphasis on clinical reasoning, patient assessment. You'll be looking into lots and lots of case studies to find what the best next step is for the person, the individual that's sitting in front of you, and hoping to get to the source of their discomfort. We will sometimes get asked, what is functional medicine? I like to say that functional medicine, besides this definition on the screen here, functional medicine is as though you had a hole in the roof of your house and there was water coming in. And functional medicine, instead of saying, oh, well, here's a bucket, when the bucket gets full, throw it out the door and you're good to go, which might be the way conventional medicine approaches things. Functional medicine instead says, hey, what caused the leak in the roof? Was there a meteor that came through the ceiling? Was there a family of raccoons that was living in the ceiling? What has caused this, and how can we get to the source of this discomfort and make you feel better? So here are some of the basics about our degree. One of the most important aspects will be the requirement to have a master's in nutrition with an equivalent GPA of 3.0 or higher. Functional medicine coursework is required. As we mentioned, we do have some ways to get that coursework if you've not had it previously. partially through our collaboration with the IFM, we also have a course that you'd be able to take, but that master's in nutrition is the very, very most important part. This degree is 100% online, and as we mentioned previously, it is made to expand the clinical toolkit, as we call it. We want you to have a wide array of resources to utilize when you are helping folks get to a better place with their health. This is a 2-year cohort modeled track. So what that means is you will be starting with the same group of people that you will be ending with. There is a set schedule that will be taking you through, and that if you are stepping outside of that schedule, if you need to stop for any reason, the next time to begin again will be at the same point that you stopped. So for folks taking some time off, it likely will be an entire year before you're able to jump back in. So this is best done at a time where you know that that 2-year track will work for you. And as we mentioned, for the first time in fall 2023, our international folks are able to join us. They'll be doing this degree from their home country, but because it is 100% online, it is now available to them. So here is a brief look at our DCN curriculum. So this is something that people often find the most exciting if you're checking that out on your page right now. Just a note that that on-site clinical practical examination that you might see at the bottom, that again is going online. This is 100% online now. We'll be sure to update this once we have a new catalog come out. But important things to note, you'll see there's a capstone course. There's an online skills review now open to international students, and you can see the names there, but if you'd like to see additional detail or course descriptions, we do, of course, have those online. You could find them under the curriculum online or in our course catalog, which I think is one of the very best places to check out. It has a little bit about the program, talks about what the schedule looks like for it, and all the required courses as well. So a little note on the structure of the program. There are 65 credits in the program. We're on the quarter system, so that's 65 quarter credits. There are 4 terms in each year. So for most folks, they're taking between 7 and 9 credits each term. That is between 75% enrollment and 100% full-time enrollment. So most people say it's either 3/4 time enrollment all the way up to full-time enrollment, depending on the quarter that you're in. Credits are fixed each term. So if you might want to get a preview of what that looks like, that is possible. We can be of assistance with that. And then the time commitment that you'll want to put aside. I like to say that you'll want to put aside 2 to 3 hours per credit per week. So an average amount of credit would be 8 per term. Multiply that by 3 hours per credit per week, and you'll get about 24 hours a week of work. This includes lectures, this includes participation in discussion boards, as well as any readings that you may have. Speaking of course structure, here is a little bit more about what that looks like in the program. So as I mentioned, assigned readings, as well as lectures that you'll be watching each week. So these courses are asynchronous. So when you're logging on to do these things, like participate in discussion boards, will be up to you. So if later at night is better one week, fantastic. If early in the morning is best the next week, that's just fine as well. And then you can expect to have papers and projects due as well. As I mentioned previously, functional medicine experience is required when completing this degree program. So that can be gained a few different ways. We host a course that you'd be welcome to take. The IFM also hosts a course. We have a discounted rate for that course, but it is sometimes offered for free. So be sure to check with them as well. And we, like I mentioned, may see this curriculum or may see this functional medicine experience included in your master's degree. We do have a running list of which ones we have seen it in and which ones we may have not. So if reaching out to find out more about that is helpful, feel free to let me know or check in with me and I'll check my list. So how and when should you apply to UWS? It is easy, it is quick, but the first thing to do is schedule a phone advising appointment with me. I am the representative for your application. scheduling a phone advising appointment means that we'll get to have a conversation about your specific situation, figure out exactly what your eligibility pathway looks like for the program, or if you may have that functional medicine experience already. Once we have a chat and those next steps are clear, I'll have you submit an online application for us. Those applications do open an entire year before the start of the term. So if you're able to plan ahead, that definitely works for us as well. In that application, you'll see there's some short essays. You'll get a chance to send emails to your recommenders for them to fill out your recommendation, as well as complete that application and attach a few items as well. Don't forget to send those official transcripts our way. They cannot be attached in the application. In there, we'll also have you outline if any prerequisites like that functional medicine course are missing. We'll have you do a little outline about what that timeline looks like for completion. Some other things we suggest as you're applying to UWS: log in and become familiar with the application portal. Get used to what that looks like in there. There is a great little guide on the side that tells you at what stage your application is and what items we've received. So log in and see what that looks like. From there, you'll also see places to submit your resume or your CV, invite people to fill out recommendations, and you'll also be able to enter the names of your school. Though, reminder, do have your schools send those official transcripts our way. After we get all of those items in a submitted application, will then likely invite you to interview with one of our program directors. And then we will ask after admission for a $300 tuition deposit to hold your place in the class. So a little bit about our tuition and financial aid. Tuition and financial aid, we've got a website that has a ton of information. This is just a little bit here, so I do recommend that you visit that page if you get a chance. But tuition is due on the first day of the quarter. We calculate it by the credit hours. So 65 credits in the program, 670 per credit. That will end up being right about $45,000 for both years of the program total for the degree. We do have payment plans that are available, but we also qualify for federal financial aid. So again, online has a ton of information and a ton of really wonderful guides. If you'd like to be in contact with financial aid directly, you can also see their number and their email address on this page. As a reminder, minimum enrollment for qualification for federal financial aid is 5 credits. Should be no problem with this doctorate degree. And then you need to remain in good academic standing to continue to qualify for that federal financial aid. Some final things to keep in mind. We get busy before that due date. So each fall is when our doctorate, our DCN starts. So chatting with me sometime during the summer or spring is wonderful. It can save you tons of time or waiting in line to interview. As it says here, our busiest time is in the 2 months before that deadline. So looking at that July and August for our busiest time of year. And then applications open a year ahead of time. So you can get it done early and you may qualify for something like a preliminary review or a conditional acceptance. If you want to chat with me online, if you are booking on my page, you'll see something that looks very similar to that calendar that is on the left there. You can choose which one of those appointments is best for you, and then it will generate my calendar on there, and you can pick a time for us to chat, and I'll give you a call right at that time. It's a great way for us to connect and find out more about your specific situation. So next steps, we already talked about it. Connecting with me is wonderful. Feel free to send me an email or call, whatever's best for you. You can also check out the videos and podcasts that we have online. So our Connect with Admissions virtually page, wonderful page, tons of resources there, including a podcast with Dr. Brown, the program director for the DCN, where he's talking a little bit more about this experience and what makes it special. And then don't forget to plan your application date in advance. We can be of help with this by chatting, but if you are ready to submit an application, don't forget that fall is when we get started, and applications are due about 2 months prior to that fall start date. And functional medicine also due before the start of that program. If you have any questions, if you want to get in touch, go ahead and check out that admissions email there at the top. That's their our front office number if you want to reach them directly. But my contact, the best way to reach me is that email address, ggoody@uws.edu. Financial aid's contact is there as well. But if you give our front desk a call and ask for me, they'll transfer you to me, or feel free to drop me a line. Again, we're very happy to be of help. We love to help you in your specific situation and figure out what those next steps look like. So don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for joining us today. We really enjoyed our time together, and we look forward to being of assistance.